Hey, what is up guys? It is your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be talking about Snapfire mid. You heard that right, Snapfire mid. This hero, in my opinion, is actually quite broken. I mean, I feel like the potential of Snapfire mid is just through the roof. The amount of utility you provide, the fact that you have a good laning stage and one of the hardest 6 spikes in the game. I mean, you can solo kill a lot of mid laners. If you're playing against a Zeus and you hit 6, you just click it and he dies. It's really crazy. Also, you Russian ags, we're going to be going over all of this, so smash the like button and subscribe. And now let's get into the video. By the way, sign up to the GameLeap website. If you want to get better at Dota, you gotta click the link down below. It's gonna help you get to Immortal as soon as possible, and I hope to see you there. Alright, so the first thing I want to note is the item build. Pretty standard for ranged mid laners, but what I like about Snapfire is that she's a strength hero. And anytime you have a strength hero, you're allowed to build gauntlets. And gauntlets are good because they give you a lot of HP, which essentially means, all in all, you have the ability to man up very hard over time. You also have a good amount of HP regen. You can see here, even when he's not under tower, he's going to have 2.9 regen. Almost 3, which is really good. The next thing to note about Snapfire is in the mid lane, anytime you have a nuke, your hero's just automatically decent mid. You know, you have the ability to secure range creeps. And the funny thing about Snapfire is that the hero is really good at trading. The fact that your Q is a slow now, an attack speed slow, and a slow is really good, but especially that attack speed slow. People don't realize it's 100, which literally means they can't hit you. Most heroes' base attack speed is 100, and it slows attack speed by 100. Now it's only for 1 second, but still, that's a full auto attack. And in the mid lane, that's a big deal. It's like a big deal, right? And you can see it coming to play here. After the fire spirits round out, he can kind of just queue up the Phoenix, hits him with the close range blast, the scatter blast, and can get an absurd, and I really mean this, an absurd amount of damage in. And Snapfire has a really hard level 2 spike. I talked about the fact that you're good at harassing at level 1, right? Scatter blast is a super underrated spell when it comes to just mid laning. But when you hit level 2, your hero actually has a lot of kill potential, especially when the wave is pushing in. I know I say this in a lot of mid videos, but whenever you're playing mid and the wave shoves in, you want to look for an opportunity to harass your opponent. And we'll see Mickey sort of goes for that here. He hits level 2, he cookies up, auto attack. When the stun ends, he can consider going for slow. You know, in this case, Weehaw pops his fairy fire, so he doesn't go for it. But he nearly got a kill. Now, funny enough, in this lane, Mickey is actually able to get a straight up solo kill. And it's not by doing anything crazy, it's actually just by playing a lane standard. CSing, pull a lot of creep aggro, using your spells to secure range creeps. And that's what we see here. He simply nukes the range creep, happens to hit Weehaw as well. It's a huge radius, very easy to use. He notices that, okay, Weehaw is playing very aggressive, he's also very low. So when his scatter blast is coming up, he walks up, pops the cookie, is able to actually cancel out the dive, and yeah, that's a solo kill. And what's really great about Snapfire is if you get off to a good start, you want to go ham. Once you get to this bottle timing, especially when you have 2 bracers, sort of like Mickey does, you can just spam your spells over and over and over again. But for how effective they are, they really don't cost that much mana. I mean, they do cost a good amount, but with a bottle, it's really not that much of a problem. 100 mana with a bottle means you can spam your spells, and in this game he even has a Crystal Maiden, which I think is a great combo. So the next question you're probably asking is, how do I play Snapfire? Do I gank? Do I roam? Do I farm? What do I do? Well, you know, it really depends. If you think it's a great game to gank the enemy safe laner, let's say it's a Terrorblade, you should gank them, because you hard counter these type of heroes. You do probably the most magical damage in the game at level 6, and therefore if you happen to be playing against any of these heroes that are weak against magical damage, and you have your ultimate, feel free to gank them. Now in this case, in the clip that we're watching, Mickey has recently used his ultimate, and therefore he's actually just gonna farm. And you'll see that as long as you use the close range scatter blast, right, the small cone that does amped damage. For anyone who doesn't know this about Snapfire, there is 2 portions of damage that her scatter blast can do. The outside or back half of the cone does less damage than the inner portion of the cone. So you want to make sure you're in melee range when casting your Q, and yeah, it's just good for farming. But yeah, it's really standard mid laning from there. I mean, you can see he has quite a bit of stacks. Your hero's very good at taking stacks. No problem at all. He pops his regen in this case. and he's going to get extremely farmed, and it's totally fine to do this on Snapfire. I think a lot of players would be really hesitant. They'd be like, I don't want to farm on Snapfire. She's not really like a, you know, a Medusa or an elk, but it's okay. You can see he pushes in some waves, gets his levels up, and this is your biggest spike in the game when you're level like 8, 9, when everyone else is like 5, 6. That's when you're the strongest in the game, in my opinion, by far, besides your mega late timings, which we'll get into. And yeah, in this case here, his team's getting gone on, he TPs in, and just, you know, shoots some globs. Now, unfortunately, I think GH lives on like 1 HP. It was pretty ridiculous, but his team had to get out. Otherwise, that would have been a god tier fight. But yeah, just remember this pattern, guys. Anytime you're playing a mid laner with a long cooldown, anytime you don't have that cooldown, just be comfortable with jungling. You can see here he's making a stack for himself. He doesn't feel pressure to gank with his Slardar, you know, gank with the Earth Spirit. He's just chilling. He's just getting some items. So in terms of item build, you can see he goes drums in this game, and I think the main reason why he goes drums, besides the fact that it's just a good Snapfire item, movement speed, mana regen stats, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. But I think a big reason why he does it is his other two cores really benefit from it. Lone Druid and Slardar both love having a drums carrier on their team, or at least buying it themselves, and so he takes up the role, and that's because it's a competitive game. But in your average pubs, I highly recommend just straight up rushing an Axe. The timing you get with GAMELEAP is quite comical, and we'll see it coming up here. And so yeah, he's just going to look to pick someone up. In this case, Slardar is a very good target. You know, any hero like Slardar or Centaur or Axe are all great targets to toss in, especially when they don't have their blink daggers yet. And yeah, that's exactly what they do here. They go for the toss, they find out Weehaw. Unfortunately, he was slightly off the mark, but hey, the goal is still accomplished. They get the kill, and now they can move on. And what's really cool about this Axe, it's a very low cooldown. It's only 40 seconds. You heard that right, it's 40 seconds, that's nothing. Another quick little tip, I know this one is a bit of a side note, but it is important nonetheless. Your little shredder now reduces armor. It doesn't slow, it doesn't reduce attack speed, it reduces armor. And keep in mind that it works on towers, and therefore if you were sieging a tower or you have a lone druid sieging a tower, make sure you use your E on the tower. And now upcoming here in the mid game, we can see the pure power of Snapfire. Even though it's nothing complex, it's just strong. She TPs into the backside of the fight, which I love, right? He TPs all the way to the tier 1 tower. He understands I need to be as far back as possible. Snapfire, even though you are a strength hero and you're quite tanky, it's still important to make sure you get off a good ultimate. The enemy team has many ways of canceling his ultimate, and so he's just going to stay all the way in the back. And yeah, he sends it in, kills off the Sven, follows it up onto the clockwork, and the entirety of the enemy team is absolutely dead. And so make sure when you're playing Snapfire mid, you have either a Mars or, you know, a Faceless Void, one of these heroes that can set up for you. The next really cool timing that Snapfire has as a core that makes her a viable mid is her level 20 talent. At level 20, you get Lil Shredder uses your attack damage. So every one of the 6 auto attacks not only reduces armor, but it also gets a fixed damage per shot, 80, and on top of that, you get your attack damage. And so you can buy items like Daedalus and shred people, and you're going to see that. He has a Daedalus queued up. You can see his items are generally more based around magical damage in the early game. You know, up until he's level 20, he's going to be buying magical damage items. Now that he's level 20, he has a Blink, a BKB, and he's going to be shifting into that Daedalus, which enables this right-click build. The Blink and the BKB are a very essential part, but they also enable you when you're going the magical damage route early into the game, so it's kind of just a good option. By the way, guys, quick farming tip for Snapfire: anytime you're pushing in waves, make sure you do this little combo where you cookie up the range creep, and then you scatter blast the wave. It's just an efficient way to kill off the wave. Also, in terms of your talent, at level 10 you take movement speed. Some people take health as well. I personally prefer the movement speed, as it's better to stay around in the backline. If your team has no frontliners, you can take the health and be the frontliner, and at level 15 you can take scatter blast damage every game. In my opinion, it's just better for clearing waves. It lets you one-shot the range creep. Upcoming here, let's look at an example of the level 20 talent coming into play. You can see with the crit, it does an insane amount of damage to Clockwork. From half HP gets melted. Yep, just one spell, half of his support's HP. Pretty ridiculous. So on top of that, he's able to save his CM, gobbles her up, throws her in, pops the ultimate, solo kills the Night Stalker, kills the egg as well, even getting the kill onto Miracle because he has a lot of right-click damage. Mwah, it's beautiful. And unfortunately here today, I won't be able to show you guys, at least within this replay, the Lil Shredder multi-shot talent, but I'll show you it in a demo lobby right after this. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let's head over to the demo lobby so I can show you why this level 25 talent is ridiculous. All right, here's a quick demonstration of the Lil Shredder multi-shot. Take a look at this, guys. Yep, you've seen that correct. It's just split shot. It's your Medusa, except you do an insane amount of damage with 1,000,000 attack speed. And so yeah, it really is pretty crazy how much damage you can do. And trust me guys, this is not, like, that looked good, right? This is not the full potential. That sounds so weird, but it's not, right? Let's just take a look. If I buy some rapiers, and I put those in my inventory, look at what we can do with the rapiers. Yep, guys, so that's going to be all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Definitely give this a shot. I think this build is super fun to play and super effective. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, let me know. If you didn't, I guess let me know. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Before you leave, just want to say a quick message. If you're trying to get better at Dota or you just enjoyed that video, I know this is pretty general and you're going to hear this quite a bit from me. But I recommend you sign up to GAMELEAP.com. Why? Because I put a lot of effort into the content over there, and generally the effort I do there is different from the content you're going to see here on YouTube. It is different. In fact, I usually go a lot more in depth on topics or into niche topics that help you get to the next level even faster. Because on YouTube, I often have to keep it more mainstream, and that's even why I'm putting it at the end of this YouTube video. That's why this is at the end, because a lot of people just watch 5 minutes, they skip through just for like the dopamine spike. But if you are interested in actually getting better at Dota, I recommend you go to the description down below, get your discount right now by clicking the link, sign up, use the discount code that you're going to see there, and I hope to see you there right now. So click it, and yeah, thanks for watching.